What's up everyone, V here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Marvel Legends Spider-Man vs. Marvel's Vulture, to be confused with a normal Vulture, which looks fairly similar. 2-pack from the Amazing Spider-Man, whatever that like 90s, I think, animated Spider-Man show's called. I don't know, I never watched it. But yes, I mean, if you collect Legends, you already know what this wave is. Is those like retro Spider-Man figures. Basically Hasbro's excuse of, hey, we ran out of Build-A-Figure characters to make, so let's just do these carded figures and these box figures so we don't have to make like a regular figure into a Build-A-Figure like they've done like with like a lot of figures. But yeah, this is of course Spider-Man and Vulture as they appear, I believe, in the animated show. I have never seen this Vulture design a day in my life. I don't know its origin. Like I said, I have never watched the show, but it's giving 90s. So we're just going to roll with it. And this is just a regular Spider-Man, which there's a lot of heat around this Spider-Man. So when they announced this, number one had thought it was for pre-orders, but when they announced it, it was, hey, you can buy this now, which is crazy because I saw people have it already, and I was like, oh my god, they weren't pre-orders, because I was just gonna wait till it dropped to buy it. I wasn't gonna pre-order it, but I'm like, dang, okay. So I got it. There's a lot of discourse around this Spider-Man, so I didn't grab him, but in my hold up, let me grab him. Okay, so in my Superior Spider-Man video, go check that one out, by the way, I explained why I love this figure so much and why I think they should make a regular, like, this kind of design Spider-Man on this body. And then, like, a couple days later, they announced this, and I got really excited, because, like, oh my god, they did it. But then I realized it's not this perfect Spidey body. It's this mold, which has more accurately the one on Hydra Bob, because that has, this one's pinned joints, this one's pinless. A lot of people aren't happy about that. I was a little disappointed, but a lot of people are like, oh, why are they using this body? His body's trash, yada yada yada. But they also kind of more framed it as if this is just this body when it is the more updated body. So I was like, okay, I'm willing to give it a chance. I think it looked pretty cool, and me personally, as cool as the ab crunch and diaphragm are, they don't really work insanely well, especially on the Amazing Fantasy mold, which this is the animated version. So I was like, okay, a non-cell shaded animated Spidey design, like, this guy articulates well, but the rest, only the Renew Vowels and like the Venom figures that have that articulation move really well. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna roll with it. We'll see. I in fact think the Hydra Bob figure was pretty fun, the little I messed with it. So I was like, okay. And plus, I think this is one of the best Spider-Man head sculpts they've ever made. So I was like, I'm gonna roll with it, and I'm gonna buy it. Had to pause because I low-key, my mind drifted off the thought of what I was trying to say, and I was like, what the hell was my point again? But like I said in this video, I think an ab crunch honestly does work really better. Works better. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give this guy a shot. He has flaws. He's no this figure. But I don't hate him like a lot of people had hatred for. And I'm gonna be real, I bought the 2-pack for him. I don't care for this Vulture. I mean, okay, when I was buying it, I had no interest in the Vulture. I was mainly getting it for the Spidey, but the Vulture is surprisingly really cool. Both are on the same body, but before we get into these boys, before we have a little threesome with these guys, let's talk about the box, because it's if you've ever bought, I'm not Englishing too well tonight. If you ever got one of these, notice how I said it 3 different times. it's just like the VHS tape box where it's just two characters. They're kind of flying at each other, but you have to have each other facing, so they're still kind of like coming at each other at an odd angle. Spidey, it looks like Spidey, but looks good. Then a lot going on with this design. I'm gonna say Spider-Man, Marvel Comics, Spider-Man, Marvel's Vulture. You're not gonna believe what it says on this side. That's right, Spider-Man, Vulture, the weird, like, VHS tape thing. Fun fact, I don't think I've ever seen a VHS tape in person a day in my life. Then pictures of the figures in semi-awkward poses. And, yeah, that's about it. Bringing in my semi-awkward posed figures. Just get them in a neutral stance. And putting the Spidey in a neutral stance, you'll automatically instantly notice the biggest problem with this figure. But we'll get into that in a second. Vulture's a little awkward to get. He's just gonna be like that. So getting into their accessories, Vulture first because he doesn't have a lot. Fists, but metallic green, which is interesting. Slightly marbleized, but nothing too insane. And he comes with an alternate head. Technically, this is the alternate head, but this is too much. What? Someone in the comments, if you know the backstory about why the hell he's this, like, handsome, like, face that's gonna hit me with, like, the Zoolander stare with this luscious hair, please tell me the origin. Because, like, this is Vulture, like, old man who's completely bald. What is going on with his youthful, luscious-haired face? Also, that is rough, but the hair usually covers it up, and we'll just show what the hair one looks like. It's too, like, he doesn't even look like a villain. He looks like a hero. He looks like very, like, full of himself. Like, I don't really see him as a villain. I see him as, like, a Vogue model or something. Like, that's not really my cup of tea. I'm gonna be real. But, you know, Spidey, on him now. Like I do with every Spidey figure. I get him out the box. Fist here, thwip here. They will never leave. But he does come with a couple. Now, no wall-crawling hands, which you'd think for a pack that was like $60, $70, you'd get that. But no, he comes with, that's not a fist, alternates of those two. And grabby hands. And you're probably like, why does he have grabby hands? He comes with a thing to grab, which is a little mask, which is pretty cool. It's a nice little different display option. I think it slides in this hand better. But you get it like that. You can have him hold his mask, which is pretty cool. Now you're probably asking yourself, if you have never seen a picture of this figure a day in your life, you're probably asking yourself, he has a mask to hold in his hands. He's got to have an unmasked head. And you'd be correct. He comes with two. Here's his generic Peter Parker. I believe this is the head sculpt on the Peter Parker figure that comes in another VHS 2-pack. I didn't buy that because the villain I didn't care for, and I'm not paying $60 for a Peter Parker figure. But that sculpt looks nice. It's very, like, that animated style. Here it is next to MJ. Almost said Lois Lane, dear God. I'm not even that into Superman. I own, like, 2 Superman figures. Why Lois Lane? I don't know. Here's one of the quirks this figure has. Be very careful when you swap the head, because, number one, thin as hell, but when you put the head sculpt on, it's tight. Like, I'm not turning that because I'm scared. I saw someone post on Reddit that it just snapped off. So, get a good look, because that's the only time that unmasked head is ever going to be on this figure, again. And it sucks, because this is a really good unmasked head. I'm just terrified to do anything. But we are going to test if it looks good on other figures. Here is the other, like, retro, like other animated Spidey. A little awkward, but I believe I saw someone make a post, or not make a post, but like talk about it on the live stream. Someone mentioned that they did design this head sculpt to, I think, be able to go on this figure. Oh, it looks awkward, so I'm not too sure. Was that this? I don't remember, but I will say this head sculpt looks pretty cool on here. This is one of the worst Spider-Man head sculpts I've ever seen. I hate this head sculpt so much. I'm going to be real. I love the figure, hate this head design. This is one of my favorite Spidey designs, like head sculpt wise, so I think you can swap it. It's alright. Definitely looks infinitely better than this one's head sculpt, I will say. See, I don't know what my point was. But if you think we're done with the accessories, because it's been 10 minutes and haven't talked about the figures yet, usually most reviewers would be done by now. But no, we like to drag things out on this channel. There's another head sculpt, and I'm going to need the comments to help me again. I don't know who this is. I want to say maybe it's Ben Reilly, but isn't Ben Reilly a clone of Peter Parker, so shouldn't they look like each other? Is this Eddie Brock? I do not know who this head is. I could have looked it up. I could have had someone or looked up information about it, but I don't know. It's just a very scowling white man with blonde hair. Could be a decent comic Homelander head, I'm gonna be real. But yeah, so if you know who that's supposed to be, let me know. Hold up. I have a Venom here. Yeah, I don't know what world I was in where I thought that would work. I do want to get the new Venom. It actually looked pretty cool. Even though, stylistically, I still prefer this Venom, which I bought used on eBay, and it's my favorite Venom figure. But yeah, let's finally get into these figures. And if you're thinking we're going to talk about the Spider-Man, you're wrong. We're doing Vulture first. Because what I do here is I do the figure I don't care about first. Which sadly is Mr. The hell's his name? God, I always forget his name. What's his name? Michael Keaton. So we have Michael Keaton here. Adrian Toomes, that's his name. It always slips my mind. He has wing pieces, which is pretty cool, and it just pegs in here and here. You can take them off. I don't necessarily want to. They're cool. You can bend. Looks nice. Bend too far. Breaks the illusion. You know what? I'll just show you. See? Pops like that. A little awkward. Stays in oddly better than I expected. But yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on with this design. I'm used to him with the green suit and the fur. Way too much skin showing. But yeah, let's get him in like a bird pose so we can get a closer look. I prefer this head sculpt so much more. This is just more akin to like Vulture for me. I don't know if he starts out looking gorgeous in the show and then turns ugly. I don't know. Again, maybe isn't he like trying to achieve youthfulness or something? I don't really know much about these characters beyond like certain cartoons and movies. I don't read comics, I'm sorry. I mean, it's not a bad design. You got like this nice little armor. It's very reminiscent of this Doc Ock with his armor. Is this a gun? Not too sure, but it's there. Like the little hints of sparkly green. You got a nice belt with little capsules around it. Don't know what are in the capsules. He's got more capsules here. This is just that original, like, this is the same body as this guy, just with different arms and, like, slightly modified legs. You got more of them, like, metallicness, which looks cool, and then just muscle definition. Not a whole lot going on there. I mean, he looks pretty cool. It's just, again, too much skin showing. But he has a hinge joint up here. It looks insanely far up. Decently down. Rotation. His arms are a bit funky because he's got these shoulder pads. Don't do that. You might break it. Which kind of awkwardly rotate. And then you got that, which if you move it in a certain way, might pop off. Bicep swivel. Double jointed elbow. And I will say, one thing, it's oddly more prevalent on him he's got like a slight gummy feel. A lot of these 2-pack figures have a gummy feel. Nothing's worse than the Green Goblin. Like, let me grab him. Where is he? Come on, where's that piece of crap? I could have paused the video. Like, apparently I'm choosing not to pause the video. It's a conscious decision I made. Also, yes, this is the Hydra Bob figure. It's just this guy. Except, or is it? Because maybe it is. At least Spidey is this guy, but maybe he's different because he's got more pronounced abs. But yeah, nothing's worse than this gummy piece of garbage. Don't buy this 2-pack. I bought it because I thought the Goblin head looked cool, and I still think it's one of the best Goblin heads. Ooh, I actively hate that figure. I actively hate it. They chose not to give him the scales, and instead just gave him that gummy Bucky Cap body piece of garbage. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're gonna compose ourselves. We're gonna finish the articulation. Get the rotation and a hinge in and out. In and out? Yeah, I think. Ab crunch. See, that just moves so nice. Waist rotation. Belt does get out of the way. Can kick that far forward, that far back. Waist rotation. That is not a waist. That is a thigh. Double jointed knee, which are really tight. Then a hinge up and down and a rocker. And my cat is at my door. Hold on. So yeah, he's got like average Marvel Legends articulation, just a little hindered here, but you can get him kind of. This is low-key the best you might get spreading the wings, not gonna lie. Not the best, but you know, I didn't. He's alright. I'd give him like a 6, 7 out of 10. Not too bad. I didn't buy the set for him though. I bought it for Baboom. And yeah, I actually still, despite its flaws, really like this figure. It's almost everything I wanted. Let's just talk about the two main problems. These two areas. People mentioned both those areas, but he has an insane thigh gap already. And this shoulder, oh my god. Like, I can see Mufasa falling to his death up there. Like, this is a problem with a lot of Legends. They kind of get the gap wrong. This figure does it beautifully. That's really bad. That's an insane drop off. It's so good, and then it just shoots up way too high. It's actively bad. But beyond, I could live with the weird thigh gap. This is bad. This is really bad. I think I've seen some people do customs where they might be able to fix it, like switch the shoulders or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's bad. It looks bad. And once you notice it, it's hard not to notice it. But like, if you get him in certain poses, like if the arm's up, you don't notice it. But yeah, it's bad. But beyond that, it's still a really good figure, because at the end of the day, it's still like the pinless arms and the pinless legs, which are good. Ignoring the drop off, the body itself isn't bad. It's just a regular Marvel Legends body. Like, is this me huffing copium? Maybe. But I can live with it. I get, and I completely understand why people hate it. And I will agree that they had a pretty perfect body right here that they just needed to tweak ever so slightly to make a phenomenal figure, and they chose not to. But maybe, I had heard some people mention that since this is the animated one, maybe he needed to be a bit bulkier than that, so maybe that's why they went here. Maybe it's Hasbro being lazy, probably is. But I don't hate it, and I will say, this is the best Spider-Man masked head sculpt I have ever seen. I love it so much. It has, like, the nice, kind, friendly look to him. He doesn't look mean. He doesn't have Like, he doesn't look mean like this guy. He doesn't have, like, a weird, awkward look like this guy. And he isn't whatever the hell this is, which is not good. I don't like this head sculpt. This is, like, a perfect Spidey mask head sculpt. I love it so much, and the webbing is painted really well. So, honestly, I think it's just... This figure, honestly, like, the head sculpt makes up for some of the dodgy parts of this figure, because you know what? Yeah, say what you will, but if we never got this figure, we would never got that head sculpt, and I love this head sculpt so much. It's near and dear to my heart. So yeah, wait. You think they're too big? Might be too big. We're gonna do another head swap. I should not be swapping, that's a very thin pig, but... It's too big, isn't it? Because if you put that on there, yeah, it's too big. Dang it. One of these days... It looks so good. And I really don't care for this head sculpt either. It's very awkward. Yeah, I like it. I love the head sculpt. The rest of the body's alright. It's got the classic Spidey painting. You got the little spider there. You got the webbing not connecting because it's like the animated show. I just realized we're not in focus. You know, got the bullet hole in his back from when, you know, Mysterio was just like, hey, this isn't an illusion. This is a real shotgun. I shoot people now, and shot him in the back. But yeah, nice little outlining there, and of course, paint goes all the way back, kind of cuts off there, but I mean, are you really going to be posing him like that? Coming down, just got the blue legs. You got the it's a classic Spider-Man design. What more are you expecting? But yeah, articulation-wise, you can look up that far, down that far. It's a ball hinge, not a dumbbell joint, which I love. I don't care for dumbbell joints on figures that should be looking up. Arm moves out that far, rotates. Really good butterfly joint. So maybe you gotta sacrifice this to get a good butterfly joint. I don't know. Bicep swivel. Double jointed elbow. Hinge in and out, and a rotation. Ab crunch, which moves pretty good forward. Let's just do a quick comparison while the train goes by of which one can crunch the best forward. Well, they're like the same. The Rainier Val's one is the best at it, but like every other figure, like the ab crunch works, but the diaphragm just doesn't move. So I'm like, at that point, just give him an ab crunch. And he goes that far back. Oh, not really far back. It does have a waist swivel, and then the paint is painted up all the way there as well. Can kick that far forward, not too far back because of his buttocks, and that is sucked up in there. That spandex is all the way up there. Can do the splits, thigh rotation. Very stiff, double jointed knee. They're always really stiff on the pinless figures. Boot cuts, hinge up and down, and a rocker. So pretty solid articulation. Like I said, I think this guy's pretty cool. He's nothing outstanding, and I 100% see its problems. It has a lot of problems, but not gonna lie, there's something about it I just really like. It might be the head sculpt. I'm gonna be real. If you just put if you took a different head sculpt and you didn't have this, I'd probably not like it as much. I love that head sculpt, and it makes me kind of like the figure a bit more. And it makes me be able to live with its problems because I love that head sculpt so much. So yeah, comparison time. Let's get a Adrian back in here. I will say that other lustrous hair head sculpt looks like an Adrian. Isn't that the name of the one guy from Miraculous? Who plays his Cat Noir? They ever get together? I only watched it because my ex was super into it, so I only saw the first 2 seasons. let me know in the comments if they ever got together. It's a bit of lore about me. Anyway, comparison time. Yeah, cooked. Here he is next to a Black Series scale figure. Here he is next to Papa Palpatine. Got this figure today because I thought I pre-ordered it and then realized I didn't. And then I saw it at a comic shop and was like, yeah, I gotta have it. So expect a review of him soon, maybe. I say that about a bunch of figures and then never review them. I'm gonna get to it eventually. And for a Voyager class Transformers review, here he is next to War for Cybertron Starscream, I think. I'm not too sure. Also, I'm gonna try to make a vid for him next. We'll see. 7-inch scale comparison time. Black Series, not Black Series. DC McFarlane Black Manta. And Jazzwares Halo 3 Master Chief. Now let's get into some fun figures. Villain-wise, let's start off with the villains. Let's bring in that piece of garbage, Green Goblin. I don't even want to look at it. It's kind of akin to this Spidey where it's like, the body might not be great, but that head sculpt is phenomenal, except this body can burn in hell. I like the head sculpt, though. So if I could get the one that's on this body, I might do a head swap if the colors match. But God, get out of my sight. Let's bring in the cooler Green Goblin. Pretty awesome. Shocker. The Rose. And from another 2-pack, which I have reviewed on the channel, Carnage. And bringing in that big boy Venom, whom I love so much. And then MJ. Not Lois Lane. And finally, to some Spideys. Here is that Spidey. Was that the last review? No. Last review was that 3-pack. Whew, I'm cooked. And here is the Chasm, forget his name, Chasm, who is on the original mold. Wish he got it. Wish he got this treatment at least. Those arms and legs are god awful, but it's such a cool design. And here he is next to the 3 Spideys. The original animated Spidey figure, whom is hot garbage, might be a knockoff. If not so, was handled insanely rough before me. So this one's definitely miles better than this guy. Then here he is next to the Renew Your Vows, or here they are, Spider-Man. Aesthetically, I like this Spidey more. This is like too modern comic-y. I like the smaller Spidey symbol sectioned off on its own. I like this head sculpt. I like the color palette a bit more. And here he is next to that cel-shaded Spidey. What really would be the definitive one is if I can get that Amazing Friends 3-pack Spider-Man, because it just merges these two into a figure, except I don't want the other 2 figures, and anyone selling that figure loose is selling it for the price of the 3-pack, so I might as well just buy the 3-pack, but I don't want to buy the 3-pack because it's a little expensive, and I don't... Anyway. Is that it? I guess that's it. So yeah, went on a bit of a ramble and a bit of a long video, but it's a 2-pack, so I'll let it slide. And also, I just make long videos in general. So yeah, after my ramblings, also, here they are next to Hydra Bob, most specifically him. But yeah, do I recommend this pack? Honestly, kind of. If it's a good introduction, if you don't have like a classic Spidey, this is probably the easiest way right now to get just a regular Spidey, because this guy was a Walmart exclusive, probably hard to find. Renew Your Vows 2-pack is really sought after and probably hard to find. This guy's trash. So honestly, this is probably your best bet at just like a classic comic-y cartoon Spider-Man, and he's not bad. Honestly, give him like a 7 out of 10. He's not too bad. He's like, yeah, if he didn't have the shoulder and the gap problem, he would be perfect, and the head snap thingy. But yeah, and the Vulture, although it's not my favorite design, and I don't really care about Vulture beyond the movies because the movies gave him a really cool design. That being said, he's still a really good figure, really solid figure. They're both pretty great figures. Honestly, I would recommend it. It's a bit pricey, like $60. So yeah, but honestly, I do recommend it. But also, I understand the hate. But me personally, this might be my new definitive Spidey, at least for like my animated and retro collection. This is definitely my like Spidey now. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, check out my previous reviews. A lot of legends on the channel. Hopefully we'll get to that Palpatine and Bumblebee. My pre-order did go through for the had a little bit of an issue. Is that a stink bug? Anyway, for the re-release of the Earthrise Soundwave, so hopefully that comes soon and I can review it. So yeah, oh yeah, check out my Instagram, MoonNetXO. Do a lot of music stuff right now. I'm learning how to play Dilemma by Green Day. Posted like a video of the guitar solo practice, and hopefully I might, if I do a full cover of it, post it on the channel as well. So yeah, that's about it. Hopefully have a wonderful day. Like I said, I do recommend this 2-pack. Even though I know it's not perfect, and it definitely isn't, and we shouldn't let Hasbro be lazy and reuse molds that aren't great. That being said, I still like this Spidey, and the Vulture's pretty cool. So yeah, that's it. Hopefully have a wonderful day, and peace out.